Lighting techniques for fine art portrait photography. When most people begin learning photography, they focus on cameras. They compare megapixels. They research lenses. They watch reviews and wonder which equipment will help them create better images. But after spending enough time behind a camera, most photographers discover something important. The camera is not the true source of a photograph. Light is. Everything you see in a photograph exists because of light. Every highlight, every shadow, every texture, every emotion. The camera simply records what light has already created. This is why understanding light is one of the most valuable skills a photographer can develop. Especially in fine art portrait photography. Fine art portraits are not simply about documenting a person's appearance. They are about creating atmosphere, mood, emotion, and often, a sense of story. The way light interacts with a subject has a tremendous influence on how viewers feel when they look at an image. One of the most commonly used tools in fine art portrait photography is soft light. Soft light is often created using large light sources, diffusers, softboxes, or window light. What makes soft light special is the way it wraps around a subject. Instead of creating sharp transitions between brightness and darkness, it creates gentle transitions. The result feels natural and calm. Soft light is forgiving. It reveals form without overwhelming detail. It allows viewers to focus on emotion rather than distraction. Many photographers are surprised to discover that some of the most beautiful portrait lighting setups are actually very simple. A large window on an overcast day can produce stunning results. A single softbox placed carefully can create images that feel elegant and timeless. The goal is not complexity. The goal is control, understanding where the light falls and how it shapes the subject. But light alone is only half the story. The other half is shadow. Beginners often fear shadows. They try to eliminate them completely. They add more lights, more reflectors, more brightness, but shadows are not the enemy of photography. In fact, shadows are often what give a photograph its emotional depth. Without shadows, images can feel flat. Without shadows, the eye has nowhere to travel. Shadows create mystery. They create contrast. They create visual tension. And sometimes what remains hidden is just as important as what is revealed. Think about some of the most memorable portraits you have ever seen. Many of them do not show everything. Part of the face may disappear into darkness. Part of the body may be suggested rather than fully visible. This selective use of light encourages the viewer to participate, to imagine, to interpret, and that interaction makes the image more powerful. Another important concept in fine art portrait photography is direction. Light has direction just like a story has direction. Light coming from the side often creates drama and dimension. Light from the front tends to reduce shadows and produce a softer, cleaner look. Light from behind can create silhouettes, outlines, and a sense of mystery. Each direction creates a different emotional response. There is no universally correct choice. The best choice depends on the feeling you want to create. This is why great photographers do not simply ask, "Where should I place the light?" They ask, "What do I want the viewer to feel?" Do you want calmness, reflection, strength, vulnerability? The answers to those questions often determine the lighting decisions that follow. Mood is not something added later during editing. Mood begins at the moment the light touches the subject. Editing can enhance mood, but it cannot replace thoughtful lighting. And perhaps that is the most important lesson of all. Lighting is not just a technical tool. It is a storytelling tool. It is a language that communicates emotion without words. The more you learn to understand that language, the more intentional your photography becomes. Because in the end, viewers may never know what camera you use. They may never know your settings. They may never ask which lens created the image. But they will remember how the photograph made them feel. And very often, that feeling begins with light.